The government clearly moves towards more and more control so that people become silenced. And when one looks at the Prime Minister and his license plate, his refusal to attend court, the flippant way he treats the questions raised in Parliament about the church, just the general demeanor creating this revenue authority, it shows how the government approaches things and what their intention is. And that is a frightening sign that we're heading into when we look at even the rapid rail. I heard you talking about it this morning. The lack of consultation or proper consultation, budgets that start at $15 billion, not even taking into account the compensation, the dislocation of people, the loss of jobs, at a time like this when our economy is so fragile, to wantonly spend that type of money. One really wonders whether it's not squandermania until all the funds are finished. When one looks at the Brian Lara Stadium at almost $1 billion, the two summits that crossed $1 billion, buildings in Port of Spain that crossed $1 billion, what revenue do any of these things attract to the country? Summit of the Americas, we heard promises that there'd be so much revenue, investment, people coming in, breaking down our doors to invest in the country. I knew it was a farce. Most people knew it was a farce. Now that's just gone. That's just history. And at the end of the day, you have no water in the country. Can you imagine in a country of 1.4 million people, you do not have water at this stage, and the government can say nothing other than we'll charge you if we see you using a hose. They don't even have a plan, a program. They have no idea of what to do. Yet they can boast of all these heavy capital investments. And the sad thing about it is, if even the economy crashes in Trinidad, what have you done to create revenue earning mechanisms? And the whole purpose of managing the economy is to say, look, we're creating industry, we're developing, you're building buildings that you're going to rent yourself, there's going to be no benefit to it. You know, you're building a stadium. I mean, I'm all in support of sport, but to play cricket as opposed to a hospital, when children are dying every day, the healthcare is in such a state of disrepair that it shows clearly the government's priorities are very different than what a rational government should have. And anybody who criticizes is deemed to be anti-government, deemed to be criticized for taking a stand. But really, where are we heading? It is just capital expenditure in areas that leave so much to be desired.
It's amazing. That whole the whole issue with the amending of the law. How was that passed?
Well, they wouldn't need
a simple majority.
Exactly. So it'll be easy to be passed. But what it clearly demonstrates, you were wrong all the time, because it was heavily debated. The law does not provide for that. I researched it.
I think what I read is that they were trying to say that the law was it was ambiguous, and so they're now making it abundantly clear.
Well, I mean, that is what they have had to say that. But clearly, he wants the insignia on his plates so that he's almost like a presidential figure. Traditionally, only the president would be authorized to have that. But it just shows where we're heading. The trimmings almost of dictatorship. And, you know, whether this benefits the country. And regardless of people's political affiliation, one has to look at it. Are you getting water? Are you feeling safe in your home? Do you think crime is down? Do you think you're getting proper education? Do you think violence in the school is overrated? Do you think inflation is too high? Do you think unemployment is too high? What about the matters that affect the average citizen, the poor person who looks towards a government to be the body that protects their interests? And when they fail, how many of these people actually are going to go into Brian Lara Stadium? How many of these people are actually going to go into the Hyatt or any of the fancy buildings in Port of Spain? None. You know, how many people actually got to see Obama or the Queen or shake his hand or be close to him? You know, it's a minority, and it's really only for the self-purpose of the government and nobody else.